Iran's president is now back in Tehran after attending the UN General Assembly. He returns to mass protests in his country after a 22-year-old woman was arrested for not following the country's strictly enforced dress code. She later died while in police custody. Iran's police claims she had a pre-existing condition and died of a heart attack. Her family denies those claims. In response, the U.S. announced sanctions on Iran's morality police. And the State Department says they are taking steps to expand internet access in Iran, despite the government's internet blackouts. Joined now by our Tehran bureau chief, Ali Arouzi. Ali, what's it look like today? And we are able to talk with you, which means that the shutting down of the internet has been lifted, at least temporarily. What can you tell us?
Hey, Chuck. Well, look, the protests are still going on nationwide in all four corners of Iran. People have been protesting for 7 days. They're still going on tonight. But, you know, the security presence has become massive across the country. The authorities here are determined to put this down, but there's still a big group of determined youth to reach their rights. But, Chuck, we have some equipment that we can get on air with. That's not the same for the rest of the country here. The internet is completely down in Iran. It's barely working. You can't access any search engines. No apps work. No social media works. None of that works. You can't go into Google. And most importantly for the authorities here, people can't message each other, which means they can't mobilize in different locations. And equally important to the authorities, they can't upload videos of the rolling crackdown. There is no documentation anymore of what's going on in the streets, and that's an ominous sign of what may come if these protests don't settle down. But there is an atmosphere of great tension here right now, and it's very somber. I mean, you'll hear in the distance cars honking, people shouting. You'll see tired people coming back from the protests. Riot police spread across the city, and you just don't know what every new day is going to bring here, because this is such a big subject here. The headscarf was the biggest taboo for the Islamic Republic to take it off. I mean, this was one of the pillars of the revolution. And just to put it in some perspective for you, Chuck, there were a group of women a couple of years ago called the Girls of Revolutionary Street. Lone women would stand on a utility box, take off their headscarf and start waving it on the street. They would be promptly arrested, and they would get double-digit jail sentences. Now you're seeing girls across Iran burning their headscarves, cutting their hair. And the authorities here are going to do everything to try and put this back in the box, but the genie is now out of the bottle. It's a whole new day here, and it's a serious problem now for the Islamic Republic about what are they going to do now about the hijab, about other social injustices that go on here. And it's also incredible, Chuck. You're seeing 17, 18-year-old girls that have dyed their hair blue or yellow or green, facing off with riot police, saying, I'm not going to put my headscarf back on. We saw a video today of a young girl in Tehran standing on a bench in the middle of the street. The female morality police had come to arrest her. She goes, I'm just not going with you. I'm not putting my headscarf on. I'm not going with you. And there were people on the streets supporting her. But the government are also calling on their supporters to come out. There have been large government rallies today. They're planned tomorrow. So the tension keeps increasing, and we just don't know where this whole thing's going to go.
Ali, you've been reporting for us for decades. Compare this to 2009.
It has some similarities because it's a very youthful movement. They're talking about social injustices. They want change, but that was a very different beast then. That, I think, that at the beginning, that was about people not wanting Ahmadinejad to come back into power. And the thing really got out of hand. This is a leaderless movement of people that want their rights. So it's a bit different this time.
Ali Arouzi in Tehran for us. Ali, I know this is not an easy assignment, especially at times like this. Stay safe. Thanks for your reporting.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.